Hey, it's Dr. Charles here, aka CoachMD, coming to you live on this magical Monday, my weekly broadcast to get our week started off on the right foot. I missed last week. I was away and I couldn't broadcast, so I'm coming back to you again. Before we get started, Facebook has changed their algorithm as they so often do, and a lot of our pages, mine included, has been not appearing on your news feed. So if you want to see what I have to say, what I have to share, and you'd like to communicate, go to my page, click the following button, and click so you see first. And that'll make sure that you see my what I have to share on your news feed. And also, if you'd like, comment on posts and share them. That's also very good, and that'll be assured that we can continue to stay in touch. I'd like to give a shout out to Lynn from New Brunswick, who's helping me with these Facebook Live, and will be helping communicate with you while I talk and share with you some of my thoughts. And as I had been doing over the past weeks in this month of February, it's the Heart Month. So many doctors think about the Heart Month. They like to share with their patients about cardiovascular health and all those kind of things, which I think is very important. But what do I do as CoachMD? Who am I, and why do I do what I do? And one of the main things that I do is I try to help people help themselves. I think that's really what an authentic doctor should be doing. One of the things that kind of bothers me is when someone says, what do you like, they ask a doctor, what do you like about being a doctor? And the doctor will say, well, I like to take care of people. Well, I have to share something with you. I don't really like to do that. It's not my responsibility to take care of people. Yeah, certainly if you need if you have an acute appendicitis or you broke your leg and need to pin it, whatever, I'm not going to be able to help you do that yourself, but there are so many other things that affect us and that cause us to be ill physically. And what I try to do is to give you the tools, the information that I've learned. And how did I get started on this? Well, it was probably about 10 years ago now, maybe a little bit more. Somebody came into my office, and I really try to connect with people, my patients. And he said, I feel really great and inspired and motivated after I sit and talk with you, but something seems to happen between office visits. I lose track, I get distracted, and then I go back to my bad habits. Is there anything that you can do to help motivate me? And we came up with this idea of a weekly email message that I sent to him. And it was, for a 2-week period, really going great. But I realized what I was doing was nothing medical at all. I wasn't telling him, what medications to take or different procedures to go for. No, I was giving him advice, coaching him, if you will, on just lifestyle and thought processes and what we do, how we relax, and how we connect with our greater self. And to me, that was I felt it was so valuable. But it wasn't only valuable to him, it was valuable to me. And as I was writing these, I realized I would like to share with more people. And that soon became my weekly message. And in order to do that, I really had to look into myself. I had to understand what makes me nervous. What makes me anxious? What makes me feel sad? What gets me angry? I really had to explore these things, because if I'm going to talk the talk, I have to walk the walk. And so these evolved into my first book, Brain Drain, these thought processes, because I realized that in order to really understand relationships, and as I started off by saying, this is the Heart Month, the month where we look at the heart. To me, the heart is more than just that physical pumping organ. The heart is something that is so vital to our existence. And not only, yes, vital to, pumps blood to all our vital organs. Yes, we know that. But there's so much more. And in this Heart Month, talking about relationships, what I like to explore is that interplay between mind, body, and spirit or soul. Because we are just not physical beings. And too often, physicians, my colleagues, and I try not to do this, we focus on the physical. We always try to figure out a physical ailment. And I can guarantee you continue with me on CoachMD, you are not going to get gimmicks. I just can't say that, take this pill, it's going to solve all your problems. And that's not only a pharmaceutical pill that I would say, even the alternative. And I'm very open-minded doctor. I'm alternative or integrative, if you will. However, we really have to explore the source. And what is that source? That source of any physical dis-ease, as we all have seen that broken up, all that, the source of that is something usually in the mind and the spirit is out of touch. And yes, there are physical ailments. Yes, I know, yes, but I'm going to upset a few people. A lot of emotional pain is the source of physical pain. And that's not to say you don't have pain, but getting to the source and the root of how we think and how our brain, as opposed to our mind, and if you stick with me longer throughout the months, I'll be bringing different, introducing different things to you that will help you understand the difference that I see there. But anyway, the way that our thoughts and the way we develop habits affects our health and affects our emotional health so much. And you really have to get to the source of that. Without doing that, really, we're just putting Band-Aids on our lives. And now, as I was talking, what I like to discuss in the month of February, the Heart Month, is relationships and how vital relationships are. And how so many people are looking for their soulmate, right? Well, as I've said before, in order for us to find a soulmate, we must first discover our soul. And in order to do that, you have to look deep inside. You have to be honest with yourself. Self-honesty is vital. And there are a lot of people who come to me with, with physical ailments or just not feeling well at all. And when I explore what's going on, a lot of it's their relationships are just in shambles. And why is that? Well, you could be in a relationship for many years, and as I've said in previous broadcasts, I feel like I can talk about this as an expert because I have been in a marriage for almost 30 years. Okay, we've been married for 30 years, right? Close to 30. Well, we're going in our 29th year. So that makes me, I think, a little bit of an expert because anybody who's been married knows it is a lot of give and take. And you have to let a lot of things go. And you also have to have respect for your partner and show appreciation for your partner. And so, but the relationships, what happens in so many relationships is you develop habits. And the habit that you could develop may be very self-destructive habits, but you've been married or in a relationship so long that the relationship itself is a habit. Right? And what our brain does, and this is very vital, because we have what I have defined as the automatic brain. Our automatic brain is automatic, instantaneous, and not very different from what it was in our cave, in the heads of our cave-dwelling ancestors 50,000 years ago. But we have modern-day automatic brain manifestations, and it manifests itself by fight or flight. And whenever there's danger, that brain will cause us to fight or flee. Well, guess what some of the dangers are in our modern day world? The unfamiliar, the unexpected, the unknown, the uncomfortable. And whenever we face those things, we fight and flee. Well, if you're in a relationship, guess what? That relationship is your comfort zone. That relationship is what you expect. You learn to expect your partner to respond in a certain way, and then you react in kind, maybe by fight or flight. But you fight or flee, changing that relationship, changing that dynamic. That's what happens. Our brain causes us to get stuck. And so you may be in that relationship that you have developed these habitual patterns, almost like feeling like you hate each other. It's terrible. And you stay there and you repeat it day in and day out. And if you kind of go back and think about when you first met, think about the fun you had and the lust and the excitement, all of that. Well, it's not there anymore. And I could tell you, like I said, I'm an expert because I've been in a relationship for a very long time, a loving relationship. And don't get me wrong, you look at people's Facebook highlight reels. It's like when you tune into a sports broadcast and the sports at the 11 o'clock news and they show you the highlights, what happened, only the best things. You don't see the whole 9 innings of the baseball game. You just see the home runs, right? Well, that's what, when you look at the Facebook page or Instagram or Twitter of people you know and say, oh, wow, they have such a wonderful relationship. Oh, my best friend. Oh, my soulmate. I wish you the happy anniversary. Well, that's, I look, like I said, some people are not going to like me for saying this, but, I don't do that. My wife would be embarrassed if I did that, honestly. That public display is okay, yes, but guess what? That's the highlight reel because no relationships are like that. Okay, well, I shouldn't say like that. Love, I mean, there's love in relationships. There's love in my relationship, but it's not slobber. Oh God, it's slobbering all over the place. How much I love, my wife. I'm at her feet, throwing rose petals at her feet every day. I mean, come on, let's get real. I mean, there are things in relationships that go south, but they only remain south if you don't change things. But there are so many relationships that are on autopilot. And they're on autopilot, they don't change because the fear of change is the unknown. And that causes us to fight or flee right back into the known. So in this month of February, the heart month, yeah, it's important to take care of your heart, to exercise, to eat well, all those good things we know, keep your sugar low and your cholesterol good and all those good things. Yeah. We all know about those things, right? But what I feel is more important to your physical health, even more important to those things, is your having healthy relationships. And as a doctor, I would be remiss if I didn't talk about these things. And no doctor wants to talk about them. CoachMD, Dr. Charles, wants to talk about these things. So that's what you get on what you're going to hear from me. And I hope that resonates. I hope you like what I have to share. And if you do, please tell others. But I want to know that I am making a difference in that I can help help relationships and help people be happy in their lives, have a more fulfilling lives. And that does start a lot of times with strong interpersonal relationships. I think that's one thing that is the thing that can derail and can really put people on the path of poor health and also lead to self-destructive habits. There are many relationships that are so contentious that one person in that relationship self-destructs. They start doing things, substances, such as not only we think of substance abuse, alcohol or drugs. No, food, that's a substance. That could be abuse. You don't like your relationship, you start abusing yourself with food and making yourself unhealthy. So it's very important to understand the interplay of all that. And in the coming weeks and months, you will see I'm going to be introducing some things that can hopefully help you in your life, make it more fulfilling, help your relationships. But also, I feel that I must continue to, I know a lot of people want me to address the physical stuff, and I will do that. I will even have maybe not some live Facebook, but some videos talking about things you can do physically and some of the cutting edge things in medicine that might be coming out. And I will talk about those things. But I think even more important is our emotional health and looking at our mind and spirit and soul and keeping that strong. Because I know that with that, your physical health will follow. Yes, it goes hand in hand, but concentrating on the mind and spirit and those relationships and this heart month, That's what I want to stress. It's very important. So I hope that you find that helpful. If you find CoachMD something that you would feel is helping you, some of the things I share, some of the things I've created. Oh, one thing I did want to say is that I get a lot of requests for me to help, private messages. People want me to help them. What are my services? And I can't spread myself, so thin. And that's why I have created programs, and I've written books. I have a blog, and I'm going to start my emails, weekly emails again. These are things that I feel that I've put my heart and soul into, that I know can help you. Because I just can't help personally. I just don't have the time personally and professionally to do one-on-one counseling and coaching. I can't offer that really. So I have developed products though, and a lot of them are free and will continue to be free. And some of them do cost money, and I feel they are reasonably priced, so most people can afford them. And those of you who can't, there are a lot of free information and content that I provide, and I will continue to provide. So anyway, I hope you enjoy these live Magical Monday broadcasts. Get your week started on the right footing, and look for those magical moments in every day. And please stay in touch and share my page, because again, Facebook has decreased reach, and it looks like I'm not getting to a lot of people who I think want to see what I have to share. And so do go on my page, click see first by looking on the follow tab, liking, commenting, sharing my posts, and staying in touch. So until next Monday, it's Dr. Charles, aka CoachMD, signing off from now. Love you, and God bless you. Bye for now.